Hello everyone, my name is Katalin. I'm a life and wellness guide, holistic healer, Akashic Records consultant, meditation instructor, and a healing artist. In today's video, I wanted to talk to you about our current situation. Many people, my students and clients, reached out to ask about what's happening right now in the world, what we are going through in the midst of the virus, and of course everything else that is happening on the surface and behind the scenes. And so I wanted to cover the most important bits and pieces that I see is happening. I'm working with, as I said, the Akashic Records and many other higher dimensional sources to tap into information and guidance for us all to be able to navigate through this time the best possible way. And so I'm going to share that information with you, and all those themes that I see are happening so that we can all navigate our lives in the best possible way right now. So I feel that it's important, in order to understand what's going on, to really do a little preview and look back in terms of where we were before, because this situation has a lot to do with evolving from there to where we are right now. And so just a very quick brief. Beforehand, in the past, I've been seeing many of us, most of us, doing a very thorough cleansing. Inner cleansing mainly I'm talking about in here. Of course, it involved other cleansings too. But inner cleansing meant a lot of the mental, emotional, spiritual layers of our inner selves, those things that we wanted to let go, including limiting thoughts, beliefs, and patterns, came up to the surface. And we all started to deal with them. We all started to look at them and manifested situations in our lives where we got to start to clear them. Many of us did this consciously with support system, and so we got to a point where the masses, a lot of people, have evolved through this work so much that not only our inner field became much more clear, but also intuitively we started to be able to feel ourselves more due to having less blockage, less internal issues to interfere with that system. On top of it, due to the cleansing, we also had an increased level of energy, which then allowed us to manifest faster and quicker and more effectively. So that universal force that was also coming down more and more of us, it's an energetic force, is also part of that manifesting system. And so we got to a point where our lifestyle and that evolution that we went through just didn't match anymore. We needed to go to the next level of living. And it actually was predicted in many ways before. We got to that time frame where we were ready to live in a much more elevated way. So our old ways, the rushing lifestyle, many of us following the 9-to-5 schedule, many of us doing a work in the first place that we didn't like, or just do it for survival, for financial means, etc. And not being able to be on top of our experiences. Pretty much we're just on a constant survival mode. With that, we built a system that was based on ego, power, money ruling our experiences, including our healthcare system, where we were told that we needed to take pills for everything. We didn't have time and even efforts and support in order to be able to really look at what was happening inside of us, what was causing our issues. And many of us developed issues because we were living a lifestyle that wasn't really aligned with who we were and our purpose. And of course there's more to this, but we were just pretty much a slave of the system and a slave of our rushing lifestyle. And so you can call it the universe or the higher guidance, said, okay, stop. You need to take this to the next level. You would like to live more abundantly. You would like to manifest your wishes. And guess what? We need to change our lifestyle. We need to change the way we think about ourselves. So this is what's happening right now. As I said, it has been happening for a while, but right now, in this grand stop all over the world, everybody is more into looking at their lives, at themselves, slowing down, having more time to do self-care, and that's really important, and I'm going to talk about this in a second, as well as rearrange things that were not matching them anymore. As we did the inner work, now it's time to bring it to the external world. So including rearranging our homes. We were so much in rush many times that our homes didn't even serve us. And so it's really important to have that environment that is really yours, including decluttering, getting rid of things we don't need, create the feng shui experience, whatever serves us. And with that, of course, as we are manifesting it in the external world, make further positive changes inside of us, and vice versa. As we were changing ourselves inside, we are able to then manifest our home and our external world in a better way for us accordingly. So let's talk about the lifestyle, and this is directly connected to one of the most important things I wanted to talk to you about today, and that is how our lifestyle and our self-care serves this particular time. So the new era, the new system that we are heading into after stepping out from the old that I briefly described is gonna be based on our desires and our living in full alignment with ourselves, and that includes a healthy mind, body, and spirit. So for that, starting to take better and closer care of ourselves is absolutely crucial. And so now, luckily, we have more time to do that. And so I am encouraging all my clients, my students, everybody I work with, and you guys to start looking at different layers of self-care. So what do we talk about here? So first and foremost, make sure that you take good care of your mental, emotional health. That involves a lot of breathing exercise, meditation, really important. Being a meditation instructor, I see that every time how starting your day with a meditative practice makes a huge difference. In fact, I would like to invite you all, before you start your day and you are still in that daydreaming, half awakened state, to just take a few nice deep breaths in and allow yourself to imagine the things you would like to do that day, the things that you need to maybe do that day, and start to align yourself with those things, but possibly including as many things you are really into, you're passionate about as possible. And this is going to be important, so I'm going to talk about this a little bit more. But so first and foremost, do this visualization, and it really also helps if you can just list a few things that you already like in your life, putting yourself in the gratitude state. When you are in the gratitude state, your energy increases tremendously. So with that, you can see the higher perspective in yourself, in your day, and just simply let yourself align with your goals and what you need to do so much easier. So again, meditation and breathing. The physical element is also important, so make sure that you stretch. I like to start my day and recommend everybody I work with at least 10 minutes of slow warm up. It doesn't have to be any particular thing. Just simply feel into your body and start with some head movements, head tiltings. Then roll your head slowly. Then you can do some shoulder rolls. And then you can do some wrist movements. And then interlace your fingers and then stretch them out in front of your body. You can then lean forward, have your spine warm up, and then take a few nice deep breaths and continue with your stretching as it feels right for you. You can do some leg movements, straightening out your legs, work with your toes around. Basic, simple things. You don't need much in order to feel more into your body. Of course, you can take it to the next level. Yoga is wonderful. There are so many sources out there by now. You can just utilize a tape and start your day with that. You're gonna really be happy with the results. Also, besides movement, you can of course incorporate dance, which is taking it to the next level, taking it to the fun, super fun stage, and listening to music. If you start your day with listening to some relaxing music or music that you love and hypes you up for the day, there's nothing like that. You can even of course take your dog for a walk and set your day up in the best possible way. You can even take a hike, a short hike. When we go out to nature, there's nothing better than that. And I realize that it might be a little difficult right now due to the virus situation, but we can roll with that. And you already possibly know those warnings, those precautionary steps and actions that are related to the virus. So just do your best to be safe, but make sure that you involve nature in your day. Okay, so that would be the movement aspect of it all. And since we are in an active stage of healing and increasing our well-being, I like to incorporate different natural holistic therapeutic methods. What do I mean by that? One of the best ones is when you just simply utilize light therapy. Light therapy would be, again, going out and expose yourself to sunshine. Sunshine is one of the most healing sources out there of all. In fact, that involves our solar plexus, our sun center, which then increases our personal power, because our solar plexus is our personal power center. So from there on, your day will go much better because your energy, your personal power and energy is activated. That's why we feel much better around the sun. That's why we feel much happier in the summertime. So utilize that. So light therapy also can be coming from other sources. I like to utilize infrared lamps. You can purchase it as a bulb and just put it into a regular lamp base that has enough big opening, and you can utilize that on any part of your body. Make sure that it's not burning you, of course, but like a good 10 inches away from your body. Use it for 10-15 minutes, especially over those regions that feel a little off. Sometimes our tummies are off nowadays because we are working around our power center, and maybe our digestion, those shifts that we are doing internally usually materialize on our digestive system. So that's a great location to use the lamp on, or you can use it on your legs or any other area, your throat, your neck, especially if you're feeling a little offness, a little cold, a little flu. You don't want to take it to the next level. You just want to utilize this light source on it. And of course, anybody can use it. Even if you don't have exposure to natural sunlight, it's gonna do great things for you. Now, water therapy, one of the best things that you can have of all times. Now, water therapy, I always say, is best if you utilize nature's forces. So again, you can bathe in a lake or ocean or whatever water is around you, or even having your own pool if you have one. Certainly take advantage of it. But in the winter time, or in occasions when you don't have access to those, certainly taking a bath in your own bathtub, if you have one, is one of the best things. If you have a jacuzzi and you have a massage system installed, even better. Why do I say that? So water is conducive. Water takes away the charges from your body. Any negative charge, any blocked, stressed energy is easily leaving your body through bathing. Your pores are naturally opening up, and so you are releasing through them as well. It's very detoxifying, as well as you can hydrate yourself the most effective way. It's much more effective than when you shower, and there's only so much water that you can take in. So take advantage of that. But again, if you only have time or chances for a shower, that's fine too. I like to utilize the right temperature. Some people like cold water. Pay attention to what you feel drawn to. I personally don't recommend cold showers if you really don't feel like it. Your body tells you what you meant to utilize. I am, for example, one of those people who really feel drawn to warm and hot water therapy. I would never want to use cold, at least not this time in my life. And there is a gender difference too. Men tend to be able to utilize the cold showers more than women. Their energy system works very differently. So take that into consideration too. And if you feel like cold shower works for you, it's invigorating, by all means you can utilize that. Pay attention to how it's affecting your body. Okay, so this is hydrotherapy or water therapy. Now we can take it to obviously into the more professional energy work field as well. So we can talk about energy healing, of course. That's a very profound work that can be done for you or on you, even through the distance. So if you know any therapist, I also personally work as an energy healer, energy therapist that you trust, you can certainly ask them to help you. These practitioners can feel into your system and through the universal forces uplift you by removing the energetic blockages from your body. And I mean here not just the physical but mental, emotional and spiritual bodies as well. Really, really important. So if you don't know different modalities, Reiki is one of the most popular one that people know. It's now accepted even in hospitals as a modality, but there are other practitioners and practices out there too, including reconnective healing. That's the one I do. Matrix energetics. There are so many different ones. You can look into them and feel into what works well for you. Also, there is acupressure and different massage therapies, really, really powerful. Shiatsu is great. There are all kinds of modalities out there. Acupuncture too, some people really like that. I personally don't react to that well, and I know people who also don't do it. So please make sure to pay attention to your reactions in your body or how you feel intuitively about these things before you jump into them. But these are certainly really powerful means and methods. And of course, as I mentioned, anything related to nature. So that means also taking walks in nature, especially barefoot. That's a very grounding aspect, and grounding is really important for us right now. Through the universal energies that are coming down on us and the inner work and external changes that we are implementing, we are raising our vibration. And that raising of vibration is a very important and amazing process. But we need to make sure that we balance that out with the other side. The polarity, is important here to keep ourselves balanced. So grounding activities are, for example, as I mentioned, taking walks, especially barefoot, because your feet will be connecting to the ground, so you feel and connect to the earthly energies that way very well. You can do that in nature, it's even more powerful. So if you're out there taking walks on the ground, of the grass is really really nice, especially natural grass, or as I said, sand or stones on the beach, really really good. You can also do dance again, because it's very active for the feet. Is a really really grounding experience. Drumming or listening to drumming, it's also grounding. Some people react to it a little bit more sensitive than other, so just make sure that you pay attention to how you feel. It can be overwhelming, especially when you listen to drumming, strong drumming for a while. So don't overdo it, to make sure. Another great grounding activity is gardening. Again, it has to do with soil. So when you garden, you are nurturing nature that then nurtures you back. It's a very very empowering experience. And also what you want to know is that you're dealing with plants there. So when we are dealing with nature based forces like minerals, even, in our diet, or just regularly minerals, connecting to stones, holding them, walking on them, it's super powerful and grounding. Plants, again, through gardening, and plants just generally are very opening our heart, opening for our hearts, and very very uplifting. Animals, just nothing better than connecting with animals and feel their love and give them love. Whatever animal you're naturally drawn to, super super great asset. And now I just quickly already touched upon plant and consuming plants. So another amazing force to take good care of yourself is diet. I'm sure by now many of you have heard and looked into diets. Now, I'm not talking about diets that is predetermined. In fact, as I'm channeling information, I keep finding how personalized diet needs to be, because each one of our journey and energetic system is unique. Yes, of course, we have similarities in ways, but we all go through our unique way of evolving, and for that we need a particular food intake. And I like not to even call it diet, because people tend to misunderstand it and they think of a particular diet that is predetermined. I mean a diet that you just simply decide to eat based on your needs and based on your cravings. And again, that's where intuition comes in. I encourage people a lot to pay attention to your cravings. Of course, it's really important to eliminate the addiction factors, because they can turn into cravings like sweet cravings, or anything else. It's not that what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your body naturally telling you what type of plants, herbs, and food intake you are needing the most. So the best ways, I definitely keep feeling and seeing how meat is a lower vibrational intake. So no matter how much energy it gives you, it can be affecting you in a negative way, especially in the current process of elevation. So what you want to think about is light diet, light food. And what are light foods? Vegetables, fruits, nuts. Nuts are actually very grounding, so it's not by chance that nuts have a lot of minerals naturally, and many of them have protein or seeds that are acting like meat, so they are able to be substituting the meat, and that's how you want to think about it. So if I want to have a balanced diet, what do? I take in the light food, the veggies and the fruits. Try not to combine them much. Obviously there are smoothies, and different ways where they are good, but overall the best is to have vegetables either raw or steamed format to be eaten in their own mixture, and then fruits separate as much as possible, especially if you want to start out your day with that. Leave a little time, about 30 minutes or so, for the fruits to be digested, not to be combined too much with the vegetables, because they can turn out to be toxic in your body. There are exceptions in here, of course, so you can look up great ways to mix, if you want to mix and match, especially for smoothie's sake, your veggies and fruits in your diet. But generally, this is a great way to go about it, kind of taking a little, separation or break in between them. And nuts like, hemp seeds are really good for protein, one of the best protein source. So if you want to eliminate meat and you haven't done so, you can do it through hemp seed. And, you can have a cauliflower, it's a great one, but especially broccoli is one of the best protein sources. If you can include that in your diet, you're going to be pretty good to go. Also, sunflower seeds and cashews, almonds, they are all very good for the mineral intake. So iron, some of them has calcium. So they are all wonderful to create that beautiful combination for you that really works. And again, you want to pay attention to how you feel. Lots of fluid, really important. You want to make sure that you include the natural sources. So either water, but not bubbly. Try to have regular water. Tap water is good, but filtered. Make sure that you eliminate fluoride and the other chemicals in there. And pay attention to the temperature. Really cold water is not healthy for our bodies. The inner temperature of the body is much warmer than that. So you freeze the body when you consume very cold water or very cold drinks per se. So you want to pay attention to, trying to consume more like room temperature or just a little colder, or even warm, like teas. I love teas, especially herbal teas. They are really good. You can combine them with honey if you like, or put in lemon. That's really awesome. In fact, lemon water or lemonade is one of the best that you can consume. So from channelings, I'm receiving that right now the best selection from these groups of food are lemon. Lemon is not only because it's helping your immune system and boosting you in so many great ways, but also it's again working on our sun center, helping with our power to be increased. It's in immense support that it provides. So lemon, orange, that helps our sacral chakra, our emotional releases, full of vitamin C again, and there are so many other benefits of it. You can read up on that on the internet, or we can talk about this later. The other ones are plenty of veggies. So I hear leeks and scallions, like from the onion family, to be really healthy and helpful right now. Also, pay attention to consuming lettuces. That's out there naturally already, because you are probably consuming them in your salads if you eat them, and please eat them as much as possible. Tomatoes are super. Why? Because tomatoes are grounding too. Think of food that you consume as nature lets you know which energy center, which part of you they are good through their natural color. So if you want to look into this a little deeper, I will record another video about this, but briefly, just as much that the chakras, our energy centers, have their own natural frequency, and the frequency is also connecting to a particular color. Those colors have the same frequency range that the actual energy center. How we know that is through a very ancient research. This has been known for centuries from the ancient civilizations. So that knowledge is not just a new thing, but we can also prove it through many other means. So our root center that is associated with grounding is red in shade. So red food, anything that is naturally red in nature, has that frequency. So tomatoes are definitely good grounding food. Now you know, but you can think about the fruits like, strawberries, raspberries, watermelon, one of the best. So you can certainly think about, okay, what would give me grounding? And what else would that give me? Because the root chakra is also associated with being safe, feeling safe on the earthly plane, secure, manifest your desires and dreams earthly, because guess what? Through your grounding, you are more connected to earth and the earthly plane, and your forces through the earthly plane, which means you can manifest easier. So we could go over this like for a long time, but the main idea is that your sacral chakra for your emotional center is orange, your solar plexus is yellow, your heart center is green, your throat center is blue or indigo, your third eye for your vision and imagination, intuition, etc. is purple or light blue in shade, and your crown is sometimes considered to be white or sometimes purple. Now, so if you think of these colors and you already incorporate the associated foods that has the same color, you're gonna be able to do a magical work. So talking about taking your diet to the next level, you can just even through this method really upgrade your meals. And again, it's said not by chance that when you have a meal that has all kinds of colors, the colors of rainbow, that's said for a reason, because our chakra system together adds up to be the colors of the rainbow, which together ends up being light. So when we, like the light, meaning light source, so when we eat all those things and open and activate our chakras, we are turning ourselves into light. We are elevating ourselves. We are more and more elevated, evolved per se. So that's how the magic truly happens. So that was a long description of food, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys kind of understand how energetically the food affects you on a deeper level. So this is pretty much what I wanted to share with you about the self-care. And so now let's talk about just briefly where this is all taking us. So now if you do all this self-care stuff, and again, it's okay if you don't get to do every one of them. In fact, I didn't even talk about exercise. Exercise, of course, besides regular movement, is really important. You can do exercise outside, as we talked about, like bicycling or anything natural, but of course you can do it in a gym. Cardio exercises are really, really good, because again, we are detoxifying ourselves. So that's the whole other layer of working on yourself. So you want to make sure that you do these things, because when you do these things, you're not only going to feel better, you're going to be healthier, but you allow yourself to start to align with your best and highest self, which is aligned with your purpose. And that's the other whole layer I wanted to touch upon today, because the new era for all of us will be all about we all do what we are here to do. And that's not like a calling that you just need to really hunt for or search for. That's a calling that you have from the moment you were born. In fact, we are naturally drawn to doing the things, the activities that are good for us, that are associated with our purpose. So guess what? When you do what you love, and you're naturally good at it, of course, you already mastered those things before, and now you're just taking it to the next step and to the next step, you are aligning with your purpose more and more so. So when you are aligned with your purpose, you do the things you are good at, you do the things that you love, you are naturally going to be successful. There is no other way. And so guess what? We don't have to worry about survival. We don't have to worry about abundance, financial, and all those things that we were worried about in the old system, doing many times what we didn't like in our 9-to-5 slave way of living. This is the way to do the new era. Do what you love, do your purpose, and you naturally will be attracting the best circumstances, the best people for you. people who are passionate about the same things that you are into your life, and start to shift your entire experience accordingly. Because of course, when you are good at something, you don't have to worry about your health and well-being. You don't have to worry about making money with it. It just naturally happens. Let alone energetically, there's a higher plane of your soul craving for this experience. So when you are aligning with it, there's so much joy that comes up, not only from doing what you love, but also on the soul level. There is this alignment, and once this alignment happens, it's a click. It's like you are putting on your best fitting clothing and backpack, and you're just ready to go. That's what happens when you are aligning with your purpose. It feels incredible. So, and guess what? We all have a place where we're fitting into this net of life. And when we do our purpose, we find that perfect fitting in. So it just feels amazing. So we all have our ways to be able to take our experiences to the next level. Not only that, but we are here through our purpose to serve, to help. And each one of our purpose is associated with serving a group, individuals, a collective, one way or another. And so when we show up for that, we not only show up for ourselves, but we show up for all those people who are waiting for our services. And so true magic happens again when that happens. And so this is the big change from our old system too, that right now we are all being called so strongly to align with our purpose, and through that be able to find the people we're supposed to collaborate with and start to serve, and everything just nicely aligns with that. And in that world, there's not gonna be need for a distorted false sense of health and well-being, especially a healthcare system that is serving pharmaceuticals. We would be naturally much more healthy, but even if we need to align ourselves with our health and well-being more so, we will naturally look for holistic means, because that's how the energy system works. Our energy system is designed to be supported through other energetic means, which means natural energy healing means, food, all these therapeutic means that I shared before. They are all working through the most innate ways of supporting your system, most natural way for the body, mind, and spirit to support itself. And so we will naturally find those means, and they will resonate with us. We will understand why that is, the way healers worked throughout the entire experience of our humanity this way. So now let's look into the collaborations. Collaborations are something that is happening right now. It's coming together. If you see that there is a break right now and there is a physical separation in between us, somebody call it social distancing. It's not really that. It's more like just kind of like a current physical distancing to protect ourselves and each other from spreading the virus. But that doesn't mean we don't reach out to each other. In fact, I see a much more close care for each other. People open up their hearts more to see who they can help, because they relate to each other. We are truly finally feeling that we are all in the same boat, and we are there for each other. And so whatever that means, you call the other person, you connect online, and you ask the other person whether you can help. In fact, we meant to be there for each other. And yes, there are people who are getting sick and who are experiencing hardship through this time, and it's really important for them to also experience the support, because this is truly how we are the strongest, when we are backing each other up. And that's what our future experiences will be like, where we are heading right now, to just realize how we are all one, how we supposed to think along the lines of unity and support system and service for our sake and for the sake of the whole. And from thinking individualistically and on a survival level, now we switch to thinking in global terms. So smaller communities now that are finding each other, or charity organizations, now they are growing. Now they are thinking bigger and bigger and bigger, reaching to the levels of nations, reaching to the level of the world, and eventually we'll all come together. And that's where this is all heading. I've been hearing about this for a long time now, and this has been coming forth in all kinds of consultations, as now we are finally going to be experiencing how truly being oneness stage, the unity feels. And with that we can bring down the truly heavenly experience to earth, meaning support each other, being in aligned with our purpose, not being in a fear state anymore, not having to be in a survival mode anymore. We think in terms of thriving, think in terms of community, think in terms of abundance, think in terms of making a change in the world, and doing so, living the lifestyle we want and doing the activities we truly love. And that in alignment with nature, that in alignment with taking good care of our planet, the universe, animals, plants, minerals, and just reinvent the way we function individually and with that as a whole. So this is where it's all taking us, and it might sound like very paradise-like and unbelievable, but if you look into our current experiences, one way or another, you see signs that it's happening. And what our individual responsibility is, if we are agreeing with this possible outcome, that is something we would all like, then we can all do our best individually to align with these things. This is gonna be the best experience no matter what, so there's nothing to lose. But when we are consciously doing this, we are naturally losing the fear aspects, all those motives, all those thoughts, all those programs, softwares, everything from our world that is not serving this new way of living. And so I just would like to point out one last thing before closing this video, and that is, again, reaching back to those who are suffering right now, who are sick or who are going through some kind of hard transition. We are all going through a transition, so don't forget that being gentle to yourself is primal. But yes, there are people who are really sick, and there's one thing besides being there for each other that we all need to know. This process that we are experiencing right now is very closely guided and supported. We are not alone on this. So there are souls who meant to leave us. Just like through natural means, people die and go to the other side. Some souls need to leave us through this particular time. And it's a very hard thing to deal with, especially for those who remain here, the loved ones. And considering the difficulties of not being able to have an exact closure due to the virus and its circumstances, is not easy. One thing is important to remember, though, is that some of us are better off not staying here anymore. Some of us chose before as a soul to move on and to be able to grow further on a different plane, a different dimension. And some of us choosing to go because they can actually support us in this process even more so from the other side. So it's an orchestrated process, and all we can do is to, again, be there for each other, support them, and do our best. And then after that, trust that it's all happening for a reason. And one last thing about the numerological alignment. This process is happening right now also for a reason. Just like everything is meant to be, this is also meant to be. Numerologically, the year 2020, again, it's a completion. Think of it. We complete a decade of 10 years, last 10 years. We complete the last 20 years from 2000. And there are two 20s. The two numerologically means that you are on the right path. You just have to remain positive, because you are manifesting instantly. You are manifesting your goals and desires. And the 0 numerologically in the 20 means completion. You are returning to the beginning stage, which means, after the 9 you are back to the 10, or here from the 19 you are turning to 20. It's a completion. So what it tells us with the double 20, which is always a strengthening element, there are 2 of it, which means it's very important to pay attention what it tells us, is that we need to remain positive because we are manifesting very strongly. And from that positive element, we experience the completion of our growth and the state where we are at. And it's a huge spiritual completion of coming to the unity stage. And so everything tells us, let alone the season being springtime, when we are experiencing the spring is the time of rebirth. We are starting a whole new era, completed the old, and now it's time to move on. And nature is rebirthing itself, and now we are rebirthing ourselves in a whole new way. And then getting to summer, where we just grow with that positive, warm feeling, warm element, awakening, everybody feels better. So it's all telling us that there is something really aligned happening in here. So try to remember that everything is happening for a reason, and all we need to do is do our little bits and pieces, align, with this experience, and then we're gonna be golden, truthfully. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. You're gonna find my information around this video. Well, you're gonna find your information all in here too. And also, if you find yourself in need of support and help in this process, I'm very happy to be there for you. As I mentioned, I'm doing all the different kinds of holistic work to boost you in your own experiences, to help you in your own experiences around this. And so reach out, let me know how you're doing, and I would like to wish you a wonderful experience with all this magical transition, and talk to you soon.